Now, what if I told you a guy from the Philippines became the only fighter in history to win world titles in 8 different weight classes?
Still the WBO welterweight champion of the world, Manny Pacquiao.
Well, today we're going to find out if Manny Pacquiao is the best fighter of our time. We'll look at his biggest wins, his toughest losses, and the fights that made boxing history. By the end, you'll know if Pacquiao really deserves to be called the fighter of his era. The evidence from these fights will answer that question once and for all. How do you win world titles in 8 different weight classes when nobody else has done it? Manny Pacquiao is the only 8-division champion in boxing history. He won his first title at 108 pounds and went on to win titles in 7 more weight classes, including 154 pounds through 72 fights.
Champion of the world, Manny Pacquiao.
This incredible achievement spans weight classes from flyweight all the way up to light middleweight. He turned pro at 16 in the Philippines to provide for his poverty-stricken family. This remarkable journey led him from the streets of General Santos City to Hollywood. And this is where he linked up with Hall of Fame trainer Freddie Roach. Together, they stayed at the top of the sport for nearly 2 decades, creating one of boxing's most successful partnerships. Now, the path wasn't easy. Moving up weight classes meant facing bigger, stronger opponents who had natural advantages. But Pacquiao's speed ring. Pacquiao owns wins over 8 fellow Hall of Famers, and they are Marco Antonio Barrera, Timothy Bradley, Juan Manuel Marquez, Oscar De La Hoya, Ricky Hatton, Shane Mosley, Eric Morales, and Miguel Cotto. This list reads like a who's who of boxing greatness. He became the oldest welterweight world champion in history at the age of 40 and is the only boxer to weight divisions. Now, what makes someone a first ballot Hall of Famer in boxing? Pacquiao was elected into the International Boxing Hall of Fame's class of 2025 in his first year of eligibility. He retired in 2021 with a record of 62 wins, 8 losses, and 2 ties, with 39 knockouts, fighting in some of the biggest blockbusters of the 2000s. Pacquiao was named Fighter of the Decade for the 2000s by Boxing Writers Association of America, and also World Boxing Council, World Boxing Organization, and Home Box Office. In 2006, 2008, and in 2009, he was awarded Ring Magazine, ESPN, and BWAA's Fighter of the Year. He said he always sought the toughest opponents so he could continue testing himself. That made him far richer than he could have imagined when he was raised in poverty in the Philippines. His voice broke as he thanked his fans during his induction speech. From flyweight to junior weight, 8 divisions, Pacquiao said. Every fight, every victory was a step further from poverty. ESPN ranked Pacquiao as the greatest Asian athlete of the 21st century in 2024, which fights turned Pacquiao from a good fighter into a boxing legend. His star-making performance was an 11-round destruction of Marco Antonio Barrera in 2003. With American trainer Freddie Roach in his corner, Pacquiao won a unanimous decision over the Mexican great for his biggest victory to that point. Pacquiao recovered from a first-round knockdown and was well ahead on the judges' scorecards before stopping Barrera in the 11th round. This made him the first Filipino and Asian to become a 3-division world champion. At 19, Pacquiao won his first world title with a left hand to the jaw to knock out local hero Sasakun in Thailand. The pressure fighting we became used to from Pacquiao was evident in the 8 rounds. These early victories showed the world that a small fighter from the Philippines could beat anyone if he had enough heart and skill. How Pacquiao became one of the highest paid athletes in the world. 5 years for this super fight to happen, and when it finally did, it lived up to the hype in terms of money generated, even if the actual fight disappointed many viewers who expected more action. Pacquiao claimed a 4th world title in as many weight divisions by stopping WBC lightweight champion David Diaz in the 9th round. "I feel much stronger and more powerful at 135 pounds," said Pacquiao after throwing 788 punches to Diaz's 463 in his lightweight debut. His whirlwind style, blazing speed, and punishing left hand introduced so many people to the sport of boxing as he headlined in Las Vegas over and over again, often in events that generated 1 million plus pay-per-view buys. These massive numbers proved his global appeal and star power in the sport. Pacquiao is among the highest earners ever in boxing, generating massive revenues throughout his career. Now, what happens when you fight this same opponent 4 times and still can't settle who's better? Pacquiao enjoyed one of boxing's best rivalries through 4 fights with Mexico's Juan Manuel Marquez. He also had a trilogy with Mexico's Eric Morales. On December 8, 2012, Marquez knocked down Pacquiao in the 3rd round with a looping right hook. In round 5, Pacquiao returned the favor, knocking down Marquez. While behind the scorecards with just 1 second left in the 6th round, Marquez countered Pacquiao's jab with an overhand right, sending Pacquiao face first into the canvas. The Marquez fights were pure warfare. The first fight ended in a draw. The second fight was another close decision for Pacquiao. The third fight brought even more controversy, with Pacquiao scraping a majority victory after an all-out war. The fourth fight ended in the most shocking way possible. With just 1 second left in the 6th round, Marquez landed a perfect right hand that knocked Pacquiao unconscious for several minutes. This was named the Ring Magazine's Fight of the Year and Knockout of the Year, and Pacquiao had not been knocked out in over 13 years. Can someone come back from a brutal knockout to become a knockout artist again? Instead of retiring after the Marquez knockout, Pacquiao came back stronger. From late 2013, the next 12 months saw an emphatic comeback. He overwhelmed Brandon Rios in China and got revenge on Timothy Bradley. But the most amazing comeback moment was against Chris Algieri. Pacquiao destroyed Algieri at the back end of 2014, scoring a total of 6 knockdowns, 6 times in one night. Manny's power is very surprising. Cuts good angles, you think you're safe, and you're not. His final signature victory was against Thurman in 2019 at age 40. Thurman had a height, reach, and age advantage, but he got knocked down in the first round. The man everyone said was finished had just delivered one of the most one-sided beatdowns in boxing history and proved age was just a number. What makes a 46-year-old Hall of Famer want to fight again? In 2025, Pacquiao came out of retirement to face Mario Barrios for the WBC Welterweight Championship. "I'm back. Let's make history." Pacquiao wrote on social media to announce his shocking return. The boxing world was stunned by the announcement. Most fighters retire and stay retired, but Pacquiao has never been like most fighters. His desire to compete and prove himself has always driven him to take on new challenges. Pacquiao told ESPN he needed 4 years to allow his body to heal and focus on his political career in the Philippines, which included a senatorial term and a presidential run. During this time away, he served his country and government while his body recovered from decades of brutal fights. The fight ended in a majority draw, but Pacquiao proved he still had it at 46 years old, saying, "I want to leave a legacy and make the Filipino people proud." His performance showed flashes of his old brilliance and surprised many who thought age would catch up to him. The fight took place at MGM Grand Garden Arena, where he made his American debut and won his first major world title 24 years earlier. What separates a good fighter from an all-time great? 8-division world champion, world titles in 4 different decades, oldest welterweight world champion in history, and these are not just opinions. They're facts, Pacquiao said during his Hall of Fame speech. He is the first boxer to win major world titles in 4 of the 8 glamour divisions: flyweight, featherweight, lightweight, and welterweight, and is the only boxer to hold world championships across 4 decades: the 1990s, 2000s, 2010s, and 2020s. Forbes ranked him the 2nd highest paid athlete in the world in 2012 and 2015. Pacquiao was beloved for his humility inside and outside the ring, his fighting spirit, and generous charitable efforts for his homeland. He made an unlikely climb from 112 to 154 pounds and routinely proved the skeptics wrong during one of the most impressive stretches in boxing history as he collected world titles. "I love making history," Pacquiao said about returning to the MGM Grand after 24 years. So is Manny Pacquiao the greatest fighter of this era? The facts speak for themselves. He has 62 career wins with 39 knockouts and is the only boxer to win world championships in 8 weight divisions. These numbers tell the story of an extraordinary career that spans multiple generations of boxing fans. He then went on to serve his country as a senator and ran for president, showing his impact went far beyond boxing. His influence reached into politics, entertainment, and social causes that helped improve life for millions of Filipinos. Look at what he accomplished during his amazing career that lasted over 2 decades. He beat legends in their prime, survived controversial decisions that could have ended lesser fighters' careers, and came back from brutal defeats that would have broken most athletes. At 46 years old, he was still competing for the world titles against fighters who were literally half his age. The numbers prove it beyond any doubt. The fights prove it even more convincingly. For over 25 years, Pacquiao fought the best fighters in the world and usually won in spectacular fashion, entertaining millions of fans worldwide. 8 weight divisions conquered, 4 decades of world titles, Hall of Fame status in his first ever year of eligibility, a legacy that inspired an entire nation and changed boxing forever. "This is our victory," Pacquiao said during his induction, his voice breaking as he thanked his fans from the Philippines. Manny Pacquiao didn't just fight in this era, he was this era. No other fight combined his speed, power, heart, and longevity in such a special way. The greatest fighter of this generation? The evidence is clear and undeniable. Ready for more legendary boxing breakdowns? Subscribe to Knockout Kings Elite as we bring you the real stories behind boxing's greatest fighters.